Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, today we're working on a Husqvarna 136 chainsaw. It's a non-runner, it doesn't run. So the person that owned this, he's had it for a long time. He used it a lot. He's used it a whole bunch, and it just started bogging down, and all of a sudden it just wouldn't start anymore. So he ended up putting new fuel line and a new fuel filter on it. He did not want to mess with the carburetor. He did not want to dig into it and rebuild it, which is okay. So he said, here, Tony, you take it, get it running for me. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to diagnose it. And I'm making this video because I just want to show you that you do not, if you're afraid or intimidated of rebuilding a carburetor, if it just looks too intimidating, that's okay. There's another option that I'll show you. But first, let's make sure that it's a fuel-related issue and not something else. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is remove the hood, and we're gonna do a compression test. We're gonna eliminate any other issues that's wrong with it. So we're gonna make sure it has good compression, and then after we do the compression test, then we're gonna do a spark test, make sure it has spark. If those two things are good to go, then we know it's a fuel-related issue. So let's remove the hood and check the compression. Okay, so this could be another issue right here too. The air filter is just nasty. That's also a thing we gotta look at. Here's a spark plug. Not bad, it's not terrible. All right, so we're gonna hook in the compression tester here. The compression tester I use, that I've been using in all my videos, this is called a Mightyvac. I highly recommend it. Very good, very accurate. Very reputable company. All right, let's give it a couple pulls. Let's see, we're at 0. Let's give it a couple pulls. All right, so we're about 125, 130. That's good. That's good compression. We'll keep going with it. So we know there's no compression issue, so that's good. All right, next we're going to check for spark. So to check for spark, you put the spark plug. You can use a spark tester. If you go back to my videos, I use a spark tester, but I like doing it this way. It's just old school, and I don't know, I find it more accurate this way. But you can use a spark tester too. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you put it up against the metal right here, the top of the engine. Let me get you guys closer so we can see the spark. If there is spark, hopefully there is spark. All right. Okay, so there is spark. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me try to put it right here. Okay, it does have spark. Okay, so we eliminated the compression. It's got good compression, and I'm sweating like a pig. We eliminated spark, so it does have spark. So it's a fuel-related issue, and most of the time, if a chainsaw is not starting, especially if it's been sitting for a long time, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, not all the time, but most of the time, it's going to be a fuel-related issue, fuel lines. fuel filter, carburetor. That's what you need to focus on most of the time. So what I want to do now is, he said he put new fuel line. I want to check out the fuel lines and the fuel filter. So this air filter is just shot. I don't even want to use it. This could play a role into why it's not, one reason why it's not starting. All right, on this specific chainsaw, there's a plate here. There's a metal plate that holds the carburetor in place. So we got to remove this plate. Not all chainsaws have this. Fuel line doesn't look terrible. It looks good. I think it's this part of the fuel line. All right, move these bolts. Okay, and then the back plate just comes off. All right, so yeah, I'm happy with that fuel line, that's fine. All right, so we'll remove that fuel line. Throttle linkage, you can just take this out. Remove the throttle linkage. All right, and that puppy is out. This is a Walbro. Alrighty. Yeah, so that fuel line to me looks good. I don't see any issue with it. Let's check out the other end of the fuel line with the fuel filter. All right. All right, so here's the other end. Does have a fuel filter attached to it. I'm going to, fuel line's good. Fuel line's good. The fuel filter, we will replace. All right, so now we have a couple options. You can either rebuild the carburetor, or you can purchase an OEM carburetor and spend over $100, or you can buy a good quality aftermarket carburetor and slap it on there and be done with it. I'm going with the last option. Now, my friends at HIPA sent me a carburetor for this chainsaw. If you haven't heard of HIPA, check out their website, hipastore.com. They have great quality stuff. They really do. I'm not just saying it because they sent me a carburetor. I've used their stuff, their carburetors, their tools in my previous videos. You can check out the Top Dog YouTubers out there that do this stuff. They also use HIPA stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's unbox this and see what it comes with. Oh, and by the way, this costs under $20. So here's what you get. They send you a spark plug. We'll use that. We'll slap that on there. They send you an air filter. Look at that, it's clean. We're definitely gonna use this. They send you the other plate that goes on the air filter. Of course, you get the carburetor. Let's match it up. Looks good to me. And you get fuel lines, which I'm not going to use. I'm just going to use what we have here. So you can just save this, and then you'll have fuel lines for whenever you need it down the road. Comes with the air fuel filter, which we're going to use, and the gaskets for the carburetor. All right, let's slap it on. There you guys have it. If you haven't checked out HIPA's stuff, go check them out. Seriously. I mean, this thing runs better than new now. Check them out, hipastore.com. I'll put the link in my description below to this carburetor right here. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.